So this first exercise, we're going to be working on something that inspires us. And this can be unique to you. You don't have to worry about it being uplifting or inspirational to anyone else. I'm going to be working on a phrase. I think this is the perfect excuse to use hand lettering. So I'm going to be using maybe 3 different colors only for this project. I changed my mind. I'm going to use 4. And I picked a light color because that's what I'm going to lay down as the background. I'm going to be drawing on top of the letters with black. And then I have some florals in mind, which I'm going to use these darker colors for. Don't get too caught up with your colors. I think just pick a few that you're more drawn to, and that's that. I don't spend too much time thinking about what I'm going to be using other than what colors I'm drawn to in the moment. So the phrase that I chose today is undateable. And this is an example of something that might not inspire or uplift others, but it's something that's always on my mind. I don't think it's a bad thing to be undateable. I think you can be undateable for many different reasons. It might be emotional unavailability, or it might be that you're too aware of your self-worth. I'm starting off with the base color for the letters. Then the second step will be me drawing over the letters. I kind of embellish them a little bit so it's beyond just having the base color. And then that's when I will be drawing. I'm going to draw some floral around the lettering. I'm really just trying to take advantage of the size of the paper. Truly don't get caught up in how this is looking when you're working on your own. It's different for me because I'm your teacher. It's really just about getting it all down. So this is where I am adding some embellishments, some intrigue, you might say, to the letters. I want to add some interest to this because even if people can't relate, it can still be a beautiful piece of art. But it's not something to get caught up in. I think just, especially if you don't identify as an artist, just worrying about getting the feelings down. This exercise we're not digging as deep as perhaps the one where we'll talk about what we hate or what we love, but this is still very telling about you and your interests. It's also kind of fun to make something look so beautiful that people might not associate as being fun or uplifting or beautiful, typically. And that's what you get when you draw your feelings. I think that there is beauty in vulnerability, and I do not think that your feelings have to be pretty to be beautiful. I'm going to outline these letters because they just weren't fun enough for me. I'm mostly outlining the letters because I don't want them to get too lost once I incorporate other features into the drawing. It's important to me that the word itself is legible. This is probably the most important part of the piece. Okay, so now that we have our word or phrase, we can go wild with color. This isn't totally necessary. I mean, you might not want to embellish the way that I am, but it can be fun. By the way, I don't know if I mentioned, but these markers are the best, these Tombos. Guys, I didn't plan this at all when I started, aside from knowing the phrase that I was going to illustrate. So you really should just dive in, see where it takes you. There are things that will drive you mad because we're not working digitally and you can't just like go back and erase marker. But I think that's the fun of it. I think you'll know when you're done just by looking at your drawing, and if you are at a loss for anything to add, just don't push it further. If you're happy with what you made, or you feel like this exercise served its purpose, don't push it too much further. I am almost done. You don't want anything to be too overworked. I didn't use the red because I just didn't feel like the work needed it. Sometimes I start out that way and think, oh, well, 4 colors, that doesn't seem so bad. And then you just start finding your way in the illustration, and I think less is more. At least that's my mentality for my own work. And there you have it. All right, guys, it's time for you to get started on your own piece, and don't forget to upload to the project gallery. Next up, we'll be working on what we hate.